Hi everyone, welcome to Remote Tribes podcast. I'm Andrew Williams. I'm the founder of Remote Tribe. We are a digital nomad online and offline community as well. We talk all things remote working and digital nomads, and we're trying to bring people from the space. We see a lot of interesting people coming up, and one of them is Aureo, the founder of Dinork. So Aureo, welcome, and please introduce yourself.
Hello, Andrew. It's really nice to be in your podcast. I think it's a really super opportunity to talk a bit about all the great things and all the movement, right, of digital nomads. From my side, we have our own app, which is Dinork. And Dinork, it's me and my fiance, which is Vera, and I'm a developer myself, a software developer. I've been working for over 10 years. It's my passion, and we really like it. And my fiance, she's a designer, UX designer, and we are digital nomads ever since we met. We met in Brazil, and we just love the lifestyle, and we build our lives so far around the being fully lifestyle in the nomad format. And and our app, it's basically, it kind of grew from our own experience, from our own ideas of trying to, let's say, make the lives of digital nomads easier and more connected. I think that's what everyone is looking for.
So let's keep that on the side. We're gonna talk a bit later about Dinork, but I just wanna go back to the topic that we have today about how to choose a workation or co-living space fit for your lifestyle. You know, no matter that you're a professional or a true digital nomad, you can join any kind of retreats now. There's so many, and we want to talk a bit about retreats in general. I know you organize within work retreats as well, workations, especially in Brazil because you're from there originally. And tell me, what kind of people do you've done this before, I think last year. Tell me, what kind of people do you attract, and how would you advise people to go into to look for in a retreat or a workation?
Of course. Yeah, I think now we've been seeing a huge growth of retreats and the workation, which is it's quite interesting format because for those people that are not very used to the lifestyle of a digital nomad, it's not a holiday, right? It's not a regular holiday that people just go for fun. It's let's say a normal day, and as a digital nomad, we work during the day. Everybody
sometimes during the nights as well.
Exactly. Because especially when we're talking about a workation, we have people from all around the world, and they're working in different time zones as well. So you'll see people just hanging by the swimming pool or going to the beach, while some people are in meetings, and then they will hang out after. So we have this really interesting format of work and play, right? And we'll be seeing this all around the world. And Brazil has become a big hotspot. Brazil.
Why do you think is that, Aurel? Why do you think?
Yeah, so Brazil, well, I think it offers a wide range of options for digital nomads. So of course, when you're talking about nature, we're talking about beaches. Yeah. Brazil has let's say, Brazil is almost a continent, right? So the amount of beaches, amount of nature, amount of hikings, amount of outdoor activities, I would say it's infinite. It's just beautiful. So many beaches, waterfalls, there's
water
mountains,
sports, scuba diving. There's so many things to try there.
Exactly. So it's just incredible, and people are discovering Brazil. It's quite common to hear about Brazil in the main topics of traveling, but now people are really taking Brazil more seriously in a digital nomad format. Brazil offers a digital nomad visa. This is important to mention.
That's
as well.
Good. We're gonna leave a link about that in the description.
Yeah, so when we talk about nature, we talk about sports, we're talking about activities. It's so many possibilities, but at the same time, the infrastructure in Brazil, it's quite good. Even if you're talking about small villages and small cities, normally you find fiber internet, you find good connections. This is something quite good about Brazil.
How about flying within the country? I guess you've got a lot of people coming from Europe and also from North America. So how would they arrive to Brazil and then move around or change planes?
Yeah, so Brazil, there is always the two main entry points. So we're talking about Rio and São Paulo. those are the main international flights. But one interesting topic that a lot of people don't know about, if you're talking about the northeast of Brazil, this is where you find most of the warm water beaches and a lot of really amazing gems that you can find in the northeast of Brazil. There is an airport which is Recife. It has a lot of international flights, quite good prices when you're talking, for example, prices from Lisbon, from Portugal to Brazil. There is really good prices. And most people search São Paulo and Rio, but they don't even think about Recife, which is a flight that is like 7 hours, comparing with São Paulo, which is 11 hours. So
How about North American connections, so Canada and US? Do you know any options for them?
Yeah, of course. Like I mentioned, mostly entry to São Paulo and Rio. That's always the default, but always worth to check Recife or Fortaleza. Those are two cities as well that sometimes it can be faster and cheaper. So good to mention.
Yeah, some people actually, Fortaleza is quite low key. I mean, not too many people know about it in Europe, but it is actually an international airport. I also found out recently, so it's a good option to check in Kayak or Google Flights always for that destination airport. Yeah. Also, I guess it's really hard to decide what to do and how to plan, because you've got a lot of jungle, a lot of natural beauty, lakes, beach. So what did you see is the most requested activity, would you say, or what do people look for when they do a retreat workation in Brazil? Is there a specific ask from people in general?
Well, I guess something that is quite common when I see retreats to Brazil, and in general the profile of people coming to Brazil, is that people are trying to see what's, let's say, specific to Brazil. So Brazil has a biodiversity which is unbelievable, right? Of animals and plants, and it's just incredible. I'm quite used to it. But every time we go with someone that's coming to Brazil for the first time, they're like, wow, it's so many birds and there's so many animals around, and some of them are not very nice, like mosquitoes or these type of things, but it's just unbelievable, right? When you go just for a quick hiking, you just see so many different species and so many beautiful views. And
I guess it's a gem for bird watchers and bird lovers. Yeah,
of course. So I think this is for sure a feature of Brazil that is everywhere. So the nature is just everywhere. So this is something that everyone normally looks for in Brazil.
So that's another option on the side from the beach, which is very famous for, and also the old cities. I guess the jungle is the other option to explore and do treks. Is it hard to get there from the place where you organize the workation, or how would people go? Can you guys actually organize something for?
So the first thing that is important to mention is that a lot of people think of Brazil. First thing that you come to mind is the Amazon, the rainforest, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But the Amazon forest is quite huge, but it's a beautiful trip. You should for sure go. But it's not necessarily the most accessible. It's quite a bit complicated you have to access the north of Brazil. You have some airports there. Manaus is a great option. But majority of the workations that we've been working on and we've been seeing are primarily around the coast of Brazil, which offers a huge biodiversity as well. The Mata Atlântica, it's a different type of a biome in Brazil. And it's just amazing. It's beautiful, and so many different animals, so many different offers. You have the Pantanal, which is a bit more from the center of Brazil, which you have a lot of animals, a lot of trips. But primarily, most of what you will see in Brazil is around the coast, which is a huge coast.
Absolutely.
It's a continental coast. And there you will have amazing possibilities. You have hikings going sometimes with the beach view as well, which is quite common. In Floripa, you have a lot of those. In the south, and then all the way up to going up, you just have everywhere you go, you're gonna find a hiking. You're always gonna hear about a hiking just close to your coliving, close to your workation.
What can you tell us about the amenities? So it's pretty clear that you can do a lot of beautiful things in Brazil and explore a lot, and also work and explore, which is fun. It's a fantastic combination just to relax and enjoy life. But when it comes to amenities, so let's say co-working spaces, co-living spots, like around the coast. So I know in Floripa there are quite a few because it's been popular for a while. But how about central Brazil and north of Brazil, where you guys organize the workations? Would you say it's a recurring theme where people can easily find a co-working space outside the big city, or do you really have to go somewhere like a workation in Brazil organized to get a good internet and a nice desk and things like that?
Yeah, so there is a few hotspots that are quite growing becoming more and more popular. So if you're talking about the northeast of Brazil, and I just love the northeast. I lived in Floripa before for 10 years. It's just unbelievable. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. But there's a really big special part of my heart with the northeast of Brazil. For example, if you're talking about Bahia, it's a big state. Let's say going up to the north, that's kind of the first state you will get in the northeast of Brazil. And then you have a small village there called Itacaré. And it's becoming a huge hub for digital nomads. It's a really small village for surfers, but a lot of possibilities, a lot of nice cafes and nice hostels that kind of evolve to the co-living model.
Yeah. Good internet,
visited, good
like
internet.
reliable.
Yeah, good internet. And it's just great. And so many foreigners, you make so many friendships, so many connections. And then going up, you'll see a lot of different possibilities. More, let's say, continuing to the northeast, you have Pipa in the Rio Grande do Norte, and Pipa is becoming a big hub as well. It's more, let's say, in these villages, you will see a lot of the surf culture aligned with the a bit more, let's say, the mystic culture. You have a lot of handmade work. You
A
have
bit
a
more
lot of
hippie
people,
vibe, maybe.
more hippie vibe, a
Yeah.
bit, exactly. And people love that because it's quite relaxing and the vibe is so nice. Everyone's so friendly. So this is kind of what you will find. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, Pipa is indeed becoming very popular. We've seen a lot of people going there from Europe, posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, reviewing the place. It's quite small from what I've heard, but the vibe is really good and it's really, really beautiful. So that's really nice to hear. And I think we're gonna leave all these places in the description. Hopefully they're not gonna get too popular because of our podcast or posts. Yeah, cool. So that's interesting. And about the cost, so obviously there will be a cost to come to Brazil, but in terms of cost of living there, compared to Europe, I guess it's cheaper. What would you say are like the main traps or the main things people should be careful when traveling to Brazil? I don't know. Is it safety? Is it tourist traps? What kind of travel advice would you give to people when they travel?
Yeah, so Brazil is a country. Of course, when you're talking about costs, you can expect for sure. It really depends as well on the type of trip that you can make, because Brazil offers all of the ranges of possibilities. So if you want to spend money, you can spend money. Like there's a lot of options to spend money on. And sometimes the money you can actually have. Let's say you get what you pay for. Yeah, there's really good services in Brazil. But of course, if you want to save some money, it's a good country as well because it has a lot of options and the currency helps in that case. There has been some inflation. Yeah,
especially if you come with US dollars or euros, probably
exactly
you gain a bit on the buying power. Yeah,
you gain a bit for sure, for sure. So that's a big plus. When you're talking about the safety, and that's a big question I always get. How is Brazil? Is Brazil dangerous? We hear things on TV. Well, what I can tell you is that Brazil is a country of big cities. This is something a lot of people they don't know about, because they think about Brazil. What's Brazil? Brazil is the Amazon rainforest and it's carnival. That's what I know about
Sao
Brazil.
Paulo maybe, and high crime or something like that.
Maybe, exactly. Yeah. But people have no idea that São Paulo, for example, is a city of 25 million people. In the big São Paulo, let's say all cities around São Paulo. And Rio is another city of 12 million. And these numbers are like, when you're talking about Europe and you say one city is 25 million people, that doesn't exist in
That
Europe.
can
That
be,
doesn't
yeah,
exist.
that can be three countries in Europe, for
It can be three
example.
countries in
Yeah.
Europe. So that's something unbelievable. And when we're talking about safety, you need to always consider the impact that big cities have in infrastructure and social problems. That Brazil has a lot of social problems that are trying to be worked on, and Brazil has been trying to evolve. But the short answer is be careful in big cities. That's the primary thing. So big cities, if you take some small precautions with your phone, with your attitude a bit, with being a bit more objective when you're walking in, for
Just
example.
aware, I guess that's the
Exactly,
word.
a
Yeah.
bit more
Yeah.
aware. You cut, let's say, 90% the risks.
Yeah.
And then when you're talking about small villages, these examples that we talked about, Itacaré, Pipa, those are just let's say 100 times safer than the
Yeah.
bigger
Would
cities
you
for
say
sure.
it's not a problem traveling by car between smaller cities, or what kind of advice? Like, for example, if someone would join your workation, how would you guys travel around?
Yeah, so Brazil is a city of highways. Sorry, it's a country of highways. It's a country that especially when you're talking about Europe as well, things are far away from each other. So
Mm.
when we say something like, "Oh, this city is actually close to this city," we're talking about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So something that is 2 hours away is not far. That's close because what's far is maybe 5 6 hours. That's maybe
Yeah.
a bit more farther. And Brazil unfortunately doesn't have a fully developed railroad infrastructure. So primarily you're talking about highways and buses. And buses in Brazil can be quite comfortable. This is something a lot of people don't know about. The buses in Brazil, if you're talking sometimes, let's say you want to do a big trip in Brazil, you're going to stay 10 hours in a bus, for example. Buses, they are like, can be quite spacious, you can be quite comfortable, you can sleep, much more comfortable than an airplane, to be honest. So this is an interesting option as well.
I didn't know about that. I know they're
You know,
popular in Mexico and Argentina, for example, but it seems like Brazil has them too, which is fantastic to hear.
that's
Yeah, if you don't
cool.
want to
Yeah,
drive. Yeah.
exactly, and it can be a bit more effective in the cost as well when comparing with airplanes. And yeah, and then you always have the options of renting cars. Primarily Brazil, a lot of highways in Brazil are not, let's say we call the like a double highway. We have a simple highway and double highway. So a lot of them we call it simple. So it means it's just two ways.
Yeah.
Can be quite dangerous depending if you're talking about, let's say, a storm. Brazil rains a lot, and the storms in Brazil are quite rough. So if in a highway, it's a simple highway, you have a lot of trucks, and you have a big storm. I've driven Brazil from south all the way to the north. It was like 7 months, 7 8 months that I traveled by myself. I took a lot of highways, and the highways can be tricky, can be dangerous, can be complicated. So my advice would be, if you can, the buses are a great option. You always have as well, in case of our retreat, you always have, for example, a driver that might help you from the airport, something like that. One good advice inside, from big cities all the way to small cities, Uber is everywhere. This is something really important to mention. You will find Uber everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Brazil has like a huge workforce in Uber drivers. And that can make things much easier when you're talking about, for example, if you want to go to a
Totally.
party, you want to have some drinks, you don't need to drive your car. So that's really a good advice. Ubers are great.
Yeah, tons of good advice here. Thanks a lot, Aureo. So I hope people will find this useful, because a lot of people are asking me also about Brazil. They're a bit shy to go there yet, but we'll see if we can convince them. So let's talk a bit more about what you're organizing, the place, the region, what kind of amenities you'll offer, and why do you do it there? Because it's kind of a niche place, but it's also a very beautiful place. We're gonna show some pictures as well.
Of course. Well, this place is a really special place. So we're talking about the city of Japaratinga. This is in the state of Alagoas in Brazil, in the northeast. And we're talking about a place that is quite unexplored. You don't see many people going there. It's really, really unexplored, which is why we love it. Because you can simply go to the beach and you feel like you're in a desert island, right? You're just somewhere by yourself, and you're just enjoying the nature, and the water is just crystal clear. There is a forest of palm trees everywhere, and it's just beautiful to just sit down and just look at it. It's just amazing.
I think there's also a
Um,
bioreserve, from what I know. Yeah.
that's true. That's true. We have a reserve there for the manatee. I don't know
Hmm.
if everyone knows what's a manatee, but it's a quite big animal. It's a water animal, and in this place, close to Japaratinga, you will find a manatee sanctuarium. And it's just amazing because you can go together with the professionals that actually take care of these beautiful animals, and you can get really close to them. But as well, it advises a lot about the responsibility of the biodiversity and all of the project that is going on. They work actually rescuing these animals that are threatened of extinction in Brazil currently, and the
I was
work that
lucky
they
enough
do.
to see them in the Philippines, very close,
Yeah,
just by chance, and they're impressive. So that's
exactly.
actually a really good experience
Yeah,
to put on top of Brazil,
yeah, no,
if
for
people are
sure.
journeying. Yeah, and how big would you say is this town, or that place? Can you talk English? Are there tourists? I guess there are not so many tourists, so I guess you'll have to practice on your Portuguese.
Yeah, so this place, yeah, that's true. If you and that's why actually we are organizing the workation, because it primarily we are trying to help people, let's say, demystify Brazil, especially the more smaller places and more, let's say, not so accessible for in general.
Yeah, I would
And
say it's a great
yeah,
intro to Brazil, one of these workations, and that's why
exactly.
I think people should definitely consider them. It's a really nice intro to Brazilian life, natural
Mm-hmm.
beauty, knowing the locals,
Mm-hmm.
just staying outside the big cities. You can definitely join one of these, and yeah, just get the real feel of what it is.
Exactly, exactly. It's yeah, it's like it's the city itself. It's quite small, quite cozy. Of course, you find supermarkets, you find the minimum infrastructure. Their internet is quite good. It's fiber internet everywhere. And yeah, and the beach is the, let's say, the main attraction, right? Because it's just unbelievably beautiful. The region itself, you might, if you do some research, you might hear more information about the city that is, let's say, half an hour away, which is Maragogi.
Hmm.
This is a city that is now becoming more and more popular for the snorkeling and the scuba diving. They are calling it the Caribbean of Brazil because the water is so crystal clear, so blue, and it's just beautiful. And we're just next to, so
Fantastic. So
it's
you
great.
can drive there, I guess.
You can drive
Again,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's another perk to have for this location. Cool. Laura, so
Mhm.
let's go into the details. So how long? How much does it cost? And what do you offer in the package? Because I know there is a package with the villa and the workspace as well, and there's some really nice amenities you want to talk about there.
Yeah, so this villa is a great villa. We actually own an apartment in the same place, so we know the region, we know the spot. It's not something as well we're just guessing. We just, it's personal,
Another
right? We
reason
just love
to
it.
join you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly, exactly. So we're not curious people. We know the place. We will be there ourselves because we like it. And yeah, the retreat we're organizing, it's our first the let's say the first retreat fully in house. So we're super excited. And this retreat is, yeah, we are opening from April 11 to May 15. Um, and the retreat will take place in this villa in Japaratinga. It's a brand new villa. It was delivered last year. Everything is brand new. So you're talking about a big swimming pool, sauna, equipped gym. It's in April and May, which means like it's low season in Brazil, but still it always sunny in Brazil. It's always uh, really hot, and
I guess
you
that
can
also means an empty beach, which is a great reason as well.
exactly, exactly. So you're gonna just be 100% comfortable, and yeah, you can really feel at home. The apartments in these villas are quite equipped. We're talking about really modern apartments, spacious, and yeah, we have options of individual accommodations. We have as well shared room option, and each of them with their individual bathrooms. And it's really comfortable. It's a bit more, let's say, let's say it's like a really remote place in a really structured place as well. Like when we're talking about the villa itself. So
Yeah. So you've
it
got
doesn't
everything you
mean
need in the villa. Yeah.
exactly. It doesn't mean that you are in a remote place and things will be because there's a lot of different retreats and some of them have great experiences, a bit more in the jungle, a bit more, let's say, as a camping mode, which is great as well. I had done this experience, but this experience is actually a bit more, let's say, you have a really great infrastructure. So yeah.
So you don't have
it's
to
quite
worry
nice.
about the just being on the road or not having amenities. Everything is there, and then on top of that, you can do other experiences in the area. Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. And how can people apply? I think there is a link to your app, right?
There is a link. There is a link. So yeah. So Dinork today is how we are. We are making the retreat. We're organizing the retreat. So yeah, everything is by the app. It's super easy to use. You just you'll find there under the retreat section, because today the app is divided between co-livings, which you can find each place and book your stay. But as well, we have retreats, which normally they have a start and end date, and then they have different prices and different configurations. So yeah, you can find it in Dinork. You can simulate everything there. We have some great discounts as well.
Yeah, if with the code remote tribe 10, you'll get 10% off. So if you're really
Exactly.
interested, just go and apply there. I think it's a good discount. What's the final price? I guess it depends on the room type. Or
Depends.
what
It
would you say? Yeah.
depends. Exactly. Yeah. The best thing is to check on the app, confirm there, and use for sure use the promo code of the remote tribe.
And then you'll get in touch with the person that applied and go through the interview and
Exactly.
give all the details. All right, great. Yeah, a lot of great information, Aureo. Thanks a lot. I think it's really good to get information about Brazil from a local who doesn't actually live there so much, but at least you've got a lot of exposure when you travel there. I think it's a really good intro for people who are considering Brazil. I think it's great also for the time zone. If you're working in the US or you have a job that has US hours, you can easily work from Brazil, no problem. So I would say this workation is perfect for Canadians, for North Americans, but also for Europeans, maybe based in the UK or on Central European time. I think you can make it work, actually. Yeah, hopefully people will find this interesting, and hopefully you're going to have a lot of fun this season. So the workation will last for a month, right?
That's true. It's for 1 month, and it goes from April 11 to May 15. People can stay from 1 week, 2 weeks, even the whole month. Anything that people would be comfortable with.
So there's a minimum of a week, right?
Yeah. We're talking a minimum of 1 week.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Aureo. That was very, very good to find out. Yeah, we'll leave all this in the description. Send us some pictures from this year, and hopefully you're gonna organize it next year as well. If people have any questions, please drop us a comment or just get in touch, and we'll reply. So thanks a lot. Good luck with the workation.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
See you
Thanks a lot
soon.
for having me.
No
Bye-bye.
worries. Bye bye.